Okay, we'll bring the town hall meeting, April 29th, 2026 meeting to order.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
A motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, good evening, people, and thank you for joining us. It's nice to see a good crowd supporting the city here at the town hall. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my colleagues up here, council members, city hall staff, our city workers, and firefighters for their tireless effort to make East Bethel a safe, thriving, vibrant community. And your dedication does not go unnoticed. Also in the crowd, we have the sheriff, County Sheriff, Brad Weiss. I'd like to welcome him. Tonight, I encouraged you to share your thoughts openly, ask questions, engage respectfully with one another. Our goal is to foster productive dialogue, ensure that all perspectives are heard. So again, thank you for joining us, and let's begin. I think we don't have any elected officials, so Brad, you want to give a comment?
Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
I want to come and observe something.
Okay. Well, then we'll go right into public input. If you want to step up to the podium and give your name, address, and be heard, we'll welcome you.
Room full of bashful people. So I wrote my comments down just so I'd be quick, concise, brief, all that stuff. So I really want to acknowledge positive things that are happening. The new improved East Bethel Bulletin, I thought was nice. I thought it was an improvement, makes us look better. And I particularly enjoyed Councilman Miller's 2 articles in there, including Coon Lake Beach, and the importance of citizen participation in local government and the relationship of city council to commissions and all that. I thought it was well written. I had the pleasure of meeting Jeff Sealocha, if I pronounce it right, Sealocha. Again, I'd met him once before, but he's, from all the buzz I've heard, he's a great addition to the fire department, to the city staff. Well accepted and making a significant difference already, so that's great news. Last night I watched the planning commission meeting, and I was really impressed with Eric Johnson, the new senior city planner. I warned you I was going to mention you, Eric, if you're here. But that frees, I know that it's similar to the East Bethel Bulletin. Farming it out saves Carrie's time and her staff's time, maybe Matt's and other people. And the same way with Eric joining, it frees Matt to not have to cover for any shortfalls in the planning area, and he can focus more on the big, the 40,000 foot view, as they say. So, and with his background, not only in planning, but as a city administrator, he's a really good counselor for you to bounce ideas off. So the bottom line of what I'm saying is I think we have a really strong staff. I always felt that about the staff of East Bethel. And it's great for the people who count on you guys to handle our city business. And I also noticed last night we have a really strong planning commission too. The new additions are strong people. Other items, I have to say, hold the line with Viking Meadows and Capstone. Do not expand the MUSA. For the folks at home, that's a municipal utility service area. It is what it is, and we didn't change it before, and I don't think it needs to be changed now. 30 acres in that location can easily be sold in the market. It's not difficult. It's not like they're going to lose money or anything. So I would pull the plug on that idea. The primary focus for MUSA moving forward, for the MUSA, the Water and Sewer District, whatever you want to call it, should be commercial development, not residential, particularly not dense residential. I mean, the people in this community couldn't make it any clearer by every possible means of listening to them that they don't want that. And I'm a 30-year resident in about a week, and I don't want it either. And I don't even live there. I live over on Coon Lake Beach, but it looks like every other town from Blaine to Cambridge if you keep doing that kind of stuff. And I want to be a little more specific, and I'm just about done, okay? More specifically, the priority needs to be on productive businesses, and I made up that term, but for me, that means businesses that employ residents, not just people who are there to sell resident stuff, you know? See the difference? Income generators for local people, not just places to spend money. We have the perfect example already, Aggressive Hydraulics. Couldn't ask for a better neighbor as a corporation, a homer, hometown guy. And you need a balance of both kinds of businesses, productive and consumptive. Finally, just a simple question, what is the status of the city's code enforcement regarding problem properties, which is a term that covers the gamut from unsightly to contaminated and dangerous. It's a wide spectrum, but I'm absolutely earnest. If there is no way to protect the value of my property, living in East Bethel, I want to get out of East Bethel and someplace where I can protect the value of my property. And it is, I'm a libertarian by nature. I don't like to get in people's businesses. But when what you do directly and significantly impacts the wallet of everyone around you, just because you're lazy or you have a drug addiction or whatever, that's not fair. That's not fair to the people around you. Remember Corey and the neighbor he lived, he was on the planning commission in the neighborhood. They had that drug house or problem house or whatever. It's serious when you got something like that going on. It used to be really bad on Coon Lake Beach. It's much better now. But we still have a good bit of this stuff out there, and it needs to be decided one way or the other. There is a legal answer for this, okay? It's not something mysterious out there. There is a legal answer. We just need to get at what it is. Thanks for your time. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Anybody else?
I'm Dean Ealing at Monroe Street. The Minnesota Mayor Coalition for Fiscal Responsibility is a nonpartisan group of at least 261 mayors from rural, suburban, and urban areas of our state. Their primary goal is to advocate for more disciplined state spending and stronger oversight to protect local taxpayers from rising costs. This coalition uses its collective voice to pressure state leaders and state legislators to reform the rampant fraud and projected billion-dollar deficits that will affect every Minnesotan. I believe a coalition such as this can give our state's smaller cities, like East Bethel, a larger voice at the state legislature. An example of a situation in which smaller cities need a larger voice is in the area of illegal immigration. Because of the obsession of 20 members of the city councils of Minneapolis and St. Paul, who declared their cities sanctuaries, all of Minnesota, not just the Twin Cities, will become a favored destination of illegal immigrants. This will bring the possibility of increased crime and fraud to every town in our state. Because of this, I think Minnesotans, 5.8 million of us, not just 20 metro lawmakers, should have a voice in how the entire state handles immigration law. The movement for a state law prohibiting the establishment of sanctuary cities must start somewhere. Let it be with the Minnesota Mayor Coalition. Or even better, how about right here with this East Bethel City Council? This coalition would also be helpful in another movement that has sprung up recently in the past several months. Numerous Minnesota cities have adopted resolutions stating that they will continue to fly the original Minnesota state flag on city properties and not fly the new so-called North Star flag, adopted in May of 2024. Those cities include Elk River, Inver Grove Heights, Champlin, Zumbrota, North Branch, Detroit Lakes, Pine Island, Cross Lake, Babbitt, Wadena, Plainview, and our sister city of St. Francis. These city councils cited overwhelming citizen preference for the old flag and the voters' deep dissatisfaction with the process that was used to select the new design as a reason for their decision. Minnesota law does not require cities to fly the official state flag. Local governments can decide which version to display, if any. However, history teaches us that at one time, a ruling political party enacted a law that required a nation to make their political party's flag the national flag. That ruling party also introduced legislation that made violators face arrest and possible job loss. The era was the 1930s. The country was Germany. And in Minnesota, a state legislator of the ruling party recently introduced legislation that threatens to withhold state funding from any city that fails to fly the so-called North Star flag. Since there is currently no state law that requires us to fly the North Star flag, I ask that this city council follow the lead of other Minnesota cities and vote to display our Minnesota state flag. I believe the Minnesota Mayor Coalition to be a growing organization that could bring much needed support to outstate Minnesota and small cities like ours, who currently have but a weak voice of their own at the state level. Now my question of the city council: will you make East Bethel the 262nd city to join a group whose goal is to advocate for disciplined state spending and to protect local taxpayers from budget rising costs? I invite each of you to express your opinions on joining that group. Thank you.
Monday at our council meeting, we brought up the flag, and I asked the council what their feelings were, and we all agreed. So we're working on a resolution for our next meeting.
Good.
So
I should pay more attention. All right.
I just want to let you know that we're thinking like you are, so definitely.
The coalition you're talking about, that
Yeah.
was back last fall it started. And basically they only got 33% of the mayors in the whole state to sign that. And they kept adding a deadline just to get that many. There was some issues in there that I didn't agree with. But since then they've come out with a new one now on the Parental Care Act. That one we're looking at and just passed, we'll sign that one. So we are looking at this stuff. I get 50 emails through the Mayor's Coalition every day.
Oh, okay.
So I'm following it, and we're keeping on top of it.
So, but we're not an official signee?
Not on that first letter, we weren't, no.
Okay. And,
That one's pretty much dead in the water now, because that's already been put on the governor's desk.
okay, so, but my understanding was that it's a
Can you come back up here?
Oh, okay.
People at home can't hear you.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. My understanding was, though, it's a coalition of city officials that would work together to advocate at the state level, not a
Yes.
one-seat, one-on-one.
That was the first phase of what they started.
Okay,
The mayor from Cross Lake was the original one that wrote the letter. And we did not follow up on that one because there was
Okay.
a few issues that didn't hurt our budgets that we could really address. So we didn't follow up. But the second one, we've agreed on that we will sign that one because
Okay.
it does affect us to the extent of about $24,000 in our budget. So.
all right.
Yes, that one, went to the governor's desk, and they met down at the Capitol to show force too already. So,
Okay.
and I'm sure they will again here once this one gets completed.
Okay,
So we're trying to stay on top of it.
all right, very good.
Thank you. Anybody else? Karen?
Good evening. My name's Karen, I live on Gopher Drive. And this was the first time I'd seen the plans for the forward thinking about updates to City Hall and fire departments and all that. And it looks really nice, but my only input is I hope that they will also look into considering how to repurpose this community space in here. So if we really want this to be a space for people to come in our community and to rent, there's a lot that could be done to this adjacent room to make it a more desirable space to rent. And even looking really down the road that should the city make a new city hall somewhere, I would really love the city to consider how to totally repurpose this building for a community space, maybe after school programs. I don't know, but there's a lot that could be done with the space. And then in terms of our Minnesota state flag, I do not feel it's appropriate for just the people in this council to make a decision on changing the state flag. And for that, I really feel it should have the input of all of our citizens. And if you are really going to pursue that question, I'd love to see some type of more input from the citizens. And I don't know if that's something that could be on the voting ballot, but I don't think it's right for just people on the city council to make a choice. Thank you.
Just for information, currently most of our buildings, all we fly is the American flag. There's only one exception to the rule, and that's at the ice arena where there is a Minnesota flag. It's an older one though. So typically we don't even fly them. Anybody else? Hearing nobody, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's closed.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.